Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Elizabeth A. Corshu. I am the founder and CEO of Nurse Exec Innovations, a resilience leadership coaching and global health consulting firm. I am also the curator of the platform titled Pass the Mic. Some of you are saying, what is Pass the Mic? Who is Pass the Mic? Well, let me tell you, Pass the Mic is a platform for visionaries, game changers, advocates looking to execute their global footprints in society in the areas of healthcare, business, education, technology, culture, fashion, and so much more. Today, I am very honored and blessed to have a special guest. Her name is Dr. Flora Luyando. This particular series is titled Empower Her. Yes, you heard that correctly. Empower her. Because we know that with women, when you have a strong woman by your side, you're able to accomplish all. So I'm going to bring in our wonderful guest for Women's History Month, which is Dr. Flora of Flora Healing. And she's going to introduce herself.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're at or when you see this interview. My name is Dr. Flora Luyando. I'm a native New Yorker, roots out of South Bronx in Puerto Rico area, and I am happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Elizabeth.
You're welcome. So, can you give the audience a brief introduction of who you are? This is Women's History Month, so we're talking about being a woman. So, what roles in womanhood do you represent? I'm a mother. Uh, I'm a future wife. I'm a daughter. I am a sister to many. So, how do you describe yourself?
I believe all that, even though I have never been a mother or a wife, I believe that having those type of relationships and having it within yourself, that femininity, that grace, I've learned from my mother, from my grandmother, my aunties on both sides of my family, my father and mother's side. And I feel when you learn that at home, you exude it. So for me, femininity is holding a baby, being that auntie, being graceful, being a little like unconditional tough love when you have to, right? Owning that, taking time for yourself. When you're saying, hey, the kitchen is closed, everybody can fend for themselves, is because you have served them and you serving yourself now. So I think all that is embracing womanhood. And we all have it in us. We just have to channel that so that we can stay grounded and balanced. Mhm.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, how do you empower yourself? How does Dr. Flora Luyando empower herself and other women?
Um, I like to begin by saying, in order for me to do anything and to inspire others, I have to begin with myself. I've always believed that. And I remember hearing those sayings and I keep referring back to the time of my childhood because I didn't realize that's going to help me to today, from the present now, of the things that my mother and my grandmother would say, even my father. You know, we had a lot of presence with the males there. The males and the females in my household really interacted with each other. We listened, we talked, we had a voice. And I feel that it's important to understand that when you have that voice and able to express it, you're able to do everything possible. So allowing yourself to speak your authenticity, your truth, even the ugliest parts that we can work on is not always easy, but it definitely allows you to grow. And so one of the things that my grandmother used to say was, Watch what you say. Do as you say that you want others to do. So, for example, in my office, if I'm going to ask someone to work out for betterment, not for just external looks, but mainly for internal, so that you can have a healthy heart, no cholesterol, hypertension, work out at least 2 or 3 times a
Okay.
week, right? Well, I do that. You know, if I'm saying I have to get acupuncture and I'm asking my patients to do that on a weekly basis, I do that. So I make sure that I am representing myself first and being the example by action as others follow. And that's a choice that they choose, right? I don't demand it from anyone. I actually start within myself. And I feel the first example is yourself first, and then that's how you show it to others.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So, the next question I have for you is, how is your spirituality life? How is faith in God and just general faith? What does that look like for you in your daily life, and why? How does that play a integral part in your
Every
daily
day
life?
when I wake up, when I stretch, when I take that first fresh air breath. Do you know what I mean? When I go and lay down, I believe that, and again, I thank my parents, and my household and my family that we had the presence of thanking. We prayed before we ate. We still pray together, right? We put the phones put away to give the presence of each other. So I
Mhm.
say every day with God. You know what I mean? And prayer is so important. I believe prayer is talking to God and meditating, which I do have been meditating for over 20 years, is to listen to God. So hand in hand goes, and it's an everyday thing. I can't even imagine it without it. And when I actually start my day a little later than normal, because I'm an early bird, like I get up at 5 in the morning pretty much every day and do a lot of things, and get my day started. When I don't do that and I start a little later, I
Okay.
feel a little off, and I'm like, ooh, what did I not do? And then I realize I didn't do my prayer. I didn't do my meditation in the morning like I would normally do, eh, or sooner. And then I was like, oh, stop, take a pause. I take that pause, that P, you know, that P in the book Beyond the Vision, that
Yeah.
P for
That
peace.
P in the book, Beyond the Vision.
Hello,
Yes.
is that P for pause so that other P can be done. Prayer.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. I love how you just incorporated Beyond the Vision into your description of how God and faith plays an integral part. You get an A plus.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
But
You're
I think
beyond the vision.
thank you. And you know why? Because when I decide to do something and when I make a decision to work with people, another strong woman like yourself, Miss Elizabeth, with other strong women on this beautiful book, you know, the rest of the beautiful, strong women, the co authors, I thank them and I thank you because to make a
Yeah.
decision like that, I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I knew this was the right decision.
Thank you.
You
Thank you so much. Give me my roses. Thank you so much. That makes a big difference, because that was just like for you, it's a baby, and it's a baby that was birthed, and we are taking that book on tour, city to city, state to state, country to country, in the name
absolutely,
of Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
Question leading into, um, because as you have many talents, all of us are blessed with talents, but we also have to understand and appreciate what we have and how we're going to use it to bless other people in this world. So, what talents, gifts, characteristic traits about Dr. Flora do you have or you've been told? Like, can you kind of share that with us?
Yeah, in my 50s, I'm grateful to even hit half a century. When I turned 50 a couple of years ago, I'm like, ooh, it hit me in a way where I'm like, 50, I'm a half a century. Woo! Another 50 years ago. But I was grateful, and I look back and I said, what are the things that I no longer would accept or don't have the time for, because time is really like getting closer, right? And I said to myself, um, networking has always been important. So the people that you surround yourself with is so important. So that's one of the keys, is understanding and following your gut. And I call that gut feeling, that intuition, follow it. So I pretty much feel that's very important, to where I'm at now. Sharing that is important. That's your internal DNA map guidance. That's what I call it. I also say, since I was a little girl, people always said, "Oh, you have a wonderful touch. Massage me. Oh, you have a wonderful touch. I feel better. You just hugging me." So when I realized those things, didn't even notice that until I got older,
Mm.
and I got into, dental hygiene, which consists of hands and touching and palpating. People would say the same thing, and then I started adding it up together. And then when I become a doctor in acupuncture and Chinese medicine doing energy work, I'm like, I kept hearing the same thing. And then I started realizing this is my purpose. I've been following my purpose for so long because I followed my heart and my intuition with it, without looking at the income, because all that will come later. When you love something and you're passionate about it, and then you find it's your purpose, money will flow.
That part, that part.
And that's what I did. And so realizing that, I'm thankful. So my hands are, I call it, my magic hands, my peace, my healing. And I thank my parents and my family, and recognizing that. So I share that healing and servicing is very
Yes,
important, you
yes.
know,
Thank you so much.
and being a big sister at times. I believe, just the other day, I can share this with you. I was on the train in New York City, and I see these young kids. They were high school students, and you can tell they're not even used to anymore being acknowledged, which is unfortunate. So they come in, and when I smiled at them, they were like shocked. Do you know what I mean? And I smiled
Mm.
and I said, "You can
Wow.
sit here. There's an extra seat here." The young boy was like, "Thank you, miss."
Hmm.
He was shocked, and I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
"Wow." Be heard.
Wow.
They want to be seen. So I decided to talk to
Hmm.
them, and they interacted just like I said earlier. How you perceive, how you interact with people, you will receive it. I called them, "Young man, have a seat. Nice to meet you." All of a sudden, his tone
Exactly.
changed. And so it's about really understanding and respecting people how you want to be respected as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So thank you for sharing that. I thought that that's so important. And anybody who catches the live or the replay, they'll see this. But what do you most value about life, or what do you do differently since since we've all survived this
Mm.
pandemic, right? The last pandemic was in the early 1900s. So what do you value most? I heard you talk about, when you get to that 50 mark, the years look shorter than before when you were like 5, right? So what do you value most about life, and what do you do differently? What would you tell a woman today that to empower her to do differently? What does Flora do differently, and what would you challenge somebody to do differently, coming out of this pandemic?
Definitely, you know, what comes from me is the word fear. Do you know? And I think that many people don't realize that being shy, um, is in a fearful state of mind, or not daring to do something. Oh, I'm just quiet, but to the point that you just always in the corner, or I'm this is just me and I'm extra loud, right? I don't think that you have to be extra anything or under anything. Try to find that balance where, just try, right? Because all that is fear, right? Somebody that's roaring too much, Are you really that tough? Someone that's too meek, you're not allowing to express yourself. So I think for me, it's understanding the yin and yang and understanding that that fearfulness is stopping you. So try it anyway, because the fear is the unknown that's not going to allow you to be who you are. But when you step into it and you try it and you pass that fear and then you continue to do it and you be like, oh, this wasn't too bad, it just gets easier. And I believe the pandemic has either made people more fearful and they're staying inside and indoors and saying, oh, working from home is great, but they're not looking happy. I'm noticing people looking very exhausted. They don't even know when to turn off the computer anymore. They don't even know when to now be a wife or be a husband or be that mother or father or in tuning with themselves because they're so overly active, their brain, right? So I really feel that with the pandemic is to take again that pause and to understand to go back outside. Remember the things that you like to do, dance, is it drawing and the word fear. And that's what it is. Take a chance and get rid of that fear by just stepping in or find someone that can, you know, ride with you and team up with you and fight those fears together.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So this concludes our interview. So thank you so much, Dr. Flora, for spending time with us this Women's History Month. And can you kind of share with us anything upcoming that you have planned or going on, or how we can best uh, find you if we want to connect with you for any of your services?
Oh, absolutely. There's a few things going on. Let's begin by the services. I do a lot of holistic services such as acupuncture, Chinese herbs, wellness events, get contracted out to do those events, mindful meditation, energy work. And you can find me at florahealing.com. All the information is on there. You also can find me on Instagram at Flora Healing. Also on Facebook business account, Flora Healing Body Works. So you can find me there, all that information on that. And I would like to leave by saying this powerful word because there is a couple of events. Beyond the Vision Book Tour will be also happening 2024. We did our first event, which was held in the Bronx, which was amazing turnout. We got a lot of great feedbacks. The next one is coming up and it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be in April 13th, a Saturday at Bridgeport, Connecticut. So we're hitting the tri-state area, and that's the next event. So look out for that. We look forward to that because Beyond the Vision is also thinking with your mind, heart, and body connection. And I would like to say,
Yes. Yes.
finish it up with a very strong.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Lee.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to
Go
finish up
ahead.
with a strong thing that I feel like is very important for all the women out there. Let's continue to empower ourselves. Let's
Right.
continue to enjoy our grace. Let's continue to work with each other, but also let's love, right? And let's continue to love and understand our masculineness, as in like the men out there, let them embrace that. Embrace the beauty of being a woman by slowing that masculinity, embracing more of that femininity, and let the males enjoy that masculinity. That's the key. And there's this beautiful thing that was powerful part of the chapter that I feel like sharing beyond the vision. It says, it is so important for us to reconnect with our bodies and the natural elements of Mama Earth. My strength and power began to intensify as I prayed. I was given the vision and thought, and this is what it said to me: do what you do best, Flora. Heal the people. So I leave that to you all. Heal yourself, be aware, and continue to be graceful. And happy History Women's Month to all you women out there.
Take care. Have a great evening. Have a
Say
great, wonderful
yes.
week. God bless. Bye. Oh, Okay. Let's end.